There are a lot of different things that people want from the next Xenoblade game. People want Xenosaga tie-ins, they want drivable vehicles, they want logos to come back, we want to see Mithra's kid, and a million other new mechanics and tied-up loose ends. I want these things too, of course, but none of them feel necessary to me in the way that my most wanted new addition does. For example, I wouldn't be that disappointed if Xenoblade 4 made us wait just a little bit longer to see Xenoblade and Xenosaga finally directly interlink. But do you know what does feel like a need to me, though? I need them to finally give Jin what he wanted. Put in other words, I need Blade civilizations.
Why the hell would you do this? What good does it do you?
Why, you ask? Then let me ask you this. Blades are granted phenomenal power from our Creator on high, yet we are doomed to never remember. Why?
What?
The accumulation of memories is what allows mankind, no, all life to grow, change, evolve, but blades are fleeting. When we return to our cores, our memories are lost, our growth snatched away forever.
People aren't so different.
Man's life too has an end, yes. However, though each individual life is fleeting, you pass on your memories, allowing you to grow as a species, as a culture. Why does Indal control all the core crystals? By controlling the moment of every blade's birth, they enslave our entire kind. How is that fair? We have no culture because Indal decrees it. Because that's what your kind do.
Jin!
Why are you the masters and we the slaves? It is we who embody the very nature of this world.
The scene you just watched has always been one of my favorites in this series. And for good reason. Jin is right. Not technically right, not right but he took it too far, not even right only to the extent of the information he had. Jin was just unquestionably, unequivocally correct in his assessment. If you think about it, Xenoblade 3 is even arguably about how right he was. How horrible a fate it is for an entire society to have their ability to create culture and history taken away from them by another group that only gains from such a system, no less. I think the only fitting way to build further off of this, especially in a game that is sure to have the widest diversity of races and cultures we've ever seen in this series, is to let blades have their own culture. I want blade cities, rituals for how core crystal resonance is handled, individual blade NPC party members, and every possible nuanced intricacy we could possibly see from a world where blades are just like any other living group of sapient beings. Now, I'm sure someone out there is thinking that that is more of a setting detail than a new change for the next game. And I don't inherently agree. I think a change like the one I've described, on top of being a fitting direction for the series to move in narratively, gives infinite possibilities for new gameplay opportunities. For example,
Oh yeah!
what are the implications of blades getting to be individuals? I'm not necessarily saying that they're never with their drivers, but what if they were allowed to follow their own ambitions? We could see blades as party members, without necessarily having Xenoblade 2's battle system, or a driver even, present at all. Obviously, we don't yet know how many active party members we'll get in the next game, but if we assume that the party system is going to work at all similarly to past games, what would the implications of recruiting a blade, followed by their driver, and putting them both in the same party look like? Xenoblade 2 touches on this concept from a world-building perspective, allowing Bridget to fight the party on her own before becoming much more powerful later on when Morag finally joins her. Could choosing to use a blade and a driver in the same party allow for a gameplay buff? Something like race stats, a special attack, or other unique properties, depending on the party lineup that you choose. How would this affect a party member who is a blade eater? The possibilities for potential doors that this could open are almost unlimited.
Oh yeah!
What would the implication of artificial blade customization be in this version of Xenoblade 4? We could have multiple characters with in-depth customization, kind of like Poppy or Ino in the previous two games. These characters could have entirely separate upgrade systems, unique to every individual artificial blade you recruit. On the flip side, we could have one system they all share, sprawling and complex, creating the need to specialize each member into a specific player-decided niche. At its most extreme, artificial blades appearing prominently would even give Monolith Soft a perfect excuse to allow us to make our own, fully customizable character for the first time since Xenoblade X's Avatar. These characters could even have their driver as an element to their customization, allowing you to choose which other character, including other blades, could get bonuses if they're partied together. This allows artificial blades to take hold of their relationships and destinies, while also adding complexity to the choices available to the player.
Oh yeah!
Imagine, one way or another, acquiring a core crystal under this system. Are you obligated to return it to a form of blade government? Could you choose which party member resonated with it, shaping parts of the resulting party member's new identity, stats, or utility? Does it maybe start a side quest, where returning the crystal to the next of kin grants a new NPC? What do you do if your blade party member suddenly returns to their crystal, implying that their driver, somewhere else, has passed? Can you justify killing an enemy driver, knowing that their innocent, and maybe not even present, blade partner will be effectively killed too? Xenoblade as a series is known for shocking revelations that give you goosebumps, and this new avenue for eliciting that reaction is exciting to me.
Oh yeah!
In Xenoblade 2, people hated the field skills, needing to not only have ready, but also equip blades with specific skills you had to grind for, just to explore or progress, was frustrating and tedious. Xenoblade 3 streamlined this process by locking areas behind hard-to-miss gameplay moments. But this simplicity made the existence of these checks feel less like rewards or secrets to discover, and more like invisible walls. A plethora of individual Blade party members, I think, has the potential to bring us to a perfect middle ground. During times when Monolith needs to block us off from an area until we progress further, recruiting a party member with wings to go up a shaft of air will feel more natural than just, like, learning to rail grind from some non-binary cat person in the woods off-screen. This way, when you reach areas where secrets are hidden behind checks, remembering that there is a spot you have to go back to later is intuitive and doesn't require any grinding. With this, finding a new kind of check kind of becomes a reward on its own, due to the implications about what kind of party member you'll get to meet and recruit later. We could also get fun character building moments, akin to heart-to-hearts, before checks that require two party members to work together. I think that this would fix some of the awkwardness we get in Xenoblade 3, too, where hero characters kind of just stand and watch. Like, Xeon, I love you, but you gotta say something when we're not talking about you, man.
Oh yeah!
Imagine this. You discover a new Blade city, and are walking around exploring the sites. There is an incredibly wide variety of named NPCs of all shapes and sizes. You round a corner, and suddenly... Perun? What the hell? That's my favorite Blade from Xenoblade 2, just standing on the side of the road with a quest marker. You talk to her, and she asks you to acquire a core crystal for her that was stolen. The crystal used to be a friend, and she's scared she'll never see them again if they're resonated with by some stranger. You agree to go get the crystal, and Perun marks a spot on your map. Appreciating how cool it is that your favorite Blade from Xenoblade 2 finally gets to be a full-fledged character, you head towards the marker. Once you're close, you realize that this is another city, shockingly similar in its population to the one you just came from. You walk around, and upon talking to some NPCs, realize that this is an artificial Blade city, and there are underlying hostilities between its population and those of the neighboring Blade city. You finally track down the thieves, and discover that they're a band of young Blades, both artificial and not, run by a Machina child. The children tell you that they had hoped their Machina friend would be able to awaken the Blade, and, as a driver who is simultaneously not organic, nor a Blade of any sort, be able to convince the Blade and artificial Blade villagers to stop fighting each other so they could play together. The Machina child apologizes, and begins to hand you the stolen crystal, when... surprise! It glows and then disappears, being replaced by a young feminine Blade named Florin. Okay, I'll stop there, but do you see the utility of this? Our favorite, never-to-be-seen-again characters from Xenoblade 2 are suddenly able to be repurposed into NPCs, quest objects, or even party members if they wanted. You get to see the most colorful and diverse cities we've ever had in these games, while also exploring the dynamics between 6+ Blade-adjacent races, with various degrees of connection to humanity or drivers or the world's history. We don't even have the hang-up of returning characters having to fit into this current setting, whether that be a week or 100 years after the events of the previous game, because there is a built-in lore explanation for these familiar characters to be ancient with knowledge of the past, or brand new individuals who don't know anything about what happened before. You could meet Korra, for example, freshly a flesh eater, needing to be guided through her grief and new place in the world. Maybe we need to rescue a group of blades, kidnapped by a fringe group of high entia who want to experiment with Blade Eater technology, not knowing there is a precedent for such a thing. The possibilities are endless and so very exciting.
Oh yeah!
I touched on this in the previous section, but I wanted to highlight the amount of variety we could see in cities where blades are prominently featured. Animal blades pulling humanoid ones down paved roads in carts, or construction workers with wings building skyscrapers, or even, whoa, I'm starting to realize how much of this video is just me listing stuff. You get the idea though. Keep all those possibilities in mind, and then remember the existence of flesh eaters. They can be just regular dudes, or the most powerful people on the planet. And they have to have a place in these societies. What about blade eaters? Do they have any claim to blade culture? Or are they simply humans who were victimized at the expense of blades? We have confirmation now that there can even be half-blades. How prominent are they? Do they have a place? Okay, now what about people like Matthew and Niall? Their great-great-grandmother is a flesh eater. How are they perceived? Are they treated differently due to Niall having a core crystal and Matthew lacking one? It's an impossibly deep hole, and Monolith gets to explore as deeply into it as they want, as long as they take hold of the opportunity.
Oh yeah!
Xenoblade 4 has the potential to be an impossibly deep RPG. If we finally see Xenoblade X merge with the numbered games, we could see over a dozen distinct kinds of people spread across its world. And this is even before the possibility of the series canon suddenly becoming twice as long. Blades have been my favorite Xenoblade humanoid race since I beat Xenoblade 2 for the first time in 2018. And I don't just want them to be allowed to exist as their own people, I need it. After Jin's arc in Xenoblade 2, and the themes present in Xenoblade 1 and 3, hell, even after all of the side quests you do in Xenoblade X relating to expanding and protecting NLA, it would only be right if Jin were finally able to get his wish, and Blades were able to seize their own destiny. Hi, thanks for watching. I've been a Xenoblade fan for like 10 years, and I am so happy to be talking about it publicly. If you want to see more Xenoblade videos, please consider hitting all the buttons down there where you're at in the comments. I'm working on getting out long-form videos once a week, with at least one of those every month relating to Xeno games. I also post on Shorts several times a day, and a lot of those are Xeno too, so you could check those out. Let me know what you think about Blades being reworked in this way down in the comments, and tell me what you hope to see in the next Xenoblade game while you're at it. Okay, I love you. I'm tired. Goodbye.